What's going on? This right here is going to be dedicated to the guys who've never been part of the equation. If you one of them guys, and you know who I'm talking to, if you're one of those guys who never been part of the equation, I am talking to you. And I'm talking to myself as well. Guys who've never been part of the equation, I mean, I don't think there's any dating advice that anyone can truly give dudes in this in this sector. I don't know why they tell certain dudes just work on yourself. Just get a better attitude. It's all BS. Like, what is that gonna do? I mean, you just have to use common sense. Dudes who've never been part of the equation, they don't stand a chance in hell. He Didn't Succeed once said in a video, and it's an analogy that I find astounding. He Didn't Succeed said, you cannot cook with cold grease. And that analogy is very astounding. You cannot cook with cold grease. If females never gave you the green light, and I'm talking about from the time you was a teenager, if females never gave you the green light, if you was never one of those guys that females just gravitate to, that females like, it's over for you. You don't stand a chance in hell. And see, a lot of guys didn't have a father that let them know from a young age that they was inferior. I think that's what separates me from a lot of dudes, from a lot of so-called TFL guys. See, I was destined to lose. And see, when you got your own father telling you from a young age that you're destined to lose, he giving you the blueprint early. See, a lot of dudes didn't have no father to tell them where they stood early in life. This is why it's very imperative to have a man in your life, to have a dad, to let you know where you stand. A lot of guys didn't have that. Unfortunately, when it comes to this world of dating, relationships, this is a game that you were either born for or you were not born for. Your genetic makeup qualifies you to either get pussy or not get any at all. This is why Joe Biden needs to legalize brothels. That way, all the loser type of men can just pay for the ass. You know, this is why he needs to go ahead and legalize the brothels. I mean, this will alleviate the problem here. My heart goes out to dudes who were never part of the equation, because that is just unreal. You know, like, there are some dudes who've never been able to get nothing. And I had to get a clear understanding that when it comes to dating and relationships, this is an all or nothing type of game. Is either you're in that top 10% of men or you get nothing at all. You know? And what I had to understand is that, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know, if you never been a part of the equation, you never will be a part of the equation. If chicks were never digging you from the time you were young, it's completely over. You know? I know they tell certain dudes, you got to work on your confidence. You got to work on your social skills. Good social skills don't mean anything. There are some guys who have social anxiety and all of that because they've been ridiculed and ostracized their whole life. Confidence and self-esteem is not something you can just go buy from the store. That's what people fail to understand. This is something that is developed through life experiences, but people are not intelligent enough to know that. If you were never a part of the equation, if you just was never one of those sought after type of men, I don't think there's any hope for these types of people. I just been thinking hard to myself, like, is there any hope for men who are just not wanted at all? I mean, that's a tough reality, you know, and I know you got a lot of guys who've deleted themselves, which is sad, but that just goes to show you how crucial this situation is and how bad this situation is. Like, you know, I mean, I'm lost for words. I feel the only thing that some guys can hope to do is just to live their life, you know, get their money, and just when they can, you know, just go to a brothel. I just think it's a heartbreaking reality. And this is why I think, you know, guys in these types of positions need to be understood, because you know, dudes who've never been in these type of positions, they're not going to understand. You know, there are some guys who couldn't wrap their mind around the idea of never being wanted, because they always had women throwing the box at them, so they don't understand. And I think that's why some dudes get frustrated and mad, because they don't understand that there are some dudes who've never been sought after. Some dudes have never been wanted, you know. And one thing that my dad told me years ago that's so true: some people are just better than some people. Some people got what it takes, some people don't. They just don't. Sometimes losing is your only option. You know? Sometimes failure is your only option, and you just gotta accept it. Especially, if you fall into the category of guys that I'm talking about, like, if you never been part of the equation, then it's completely over for you. I mean, what advice can you give guys who've never been part of the equation? Dudes who've never been chosen from day one. Chicks never digged them, you know? But see, like, one thing about me, and I'm sure a lot of guys know this, I knew from a young age that I was destined to lose. When it came to the world of dating and relationships, I'm sure a lot of guys knew this. A lot of dudes that's in these types of positions, I'm sure they knew from a young age that they were destined to lose, that they were destined to crash and burn. I knew that, it wasn't going to be sweet for me from day one. I just don't believe there's any hope for guys that have never been part of the equation. Like, some people couldn't even wrap their mind around that. Like, what? Never been desired by anybody? Are you serious? Some people couldn't even understand that. They couldn't even fathom that. But I mean, unfortunately, it's a real phenomenon. I just don't know what to say. I just don't believe in gassing people's heads up. I mean, dudes who've never been wanted, I feel guys, that fall into this category, these type of dudes don't stand a chance in hell. And I feel the worst thing that a person can do is tell a person that they have a fighting chance when they see that they don't. It's mind-boggling to me. I just can't believe that this is really a reality that a lot of guys are facing. But you guys have a good one. And I'll be back at you guys with more product reviews very soon. Have a good day.